So hello, we are going live now from my flat, my beautiful orange flat. Obviously, we're all stuck in now. I'm calling this Stop In with Sian because we are all stopping in to help save lives at the moment, and these are really difficult times. I think a lot of this is turning out to be a lot more difficult than we thought it would be. Certainly the news today that the Prime Minister is battling for his life in intensive care is intensely worrying for all of us around the country. We're all wishing him absolutely the best. We know he's getting the best care within the NHS hospital at Guy's and St Thomas's, and just get well soon, Boris Johnson. We are doing this because we want to bring people together, because we want to have a look at what's going on around the country to try and help support people, to help save lives. I'll have a brilliant local activist, Claire Sheppard, talking to me in a minute on my screen here. Just trying to innovate a little bit in terms of how Zoom works. This is my abification mode of my camera. Check out how there's a very slight delay. Very cool. Claire will be on this screen shortly. First though, I wanted to go back to paying tribute to the people who are putting their lives on the line for us. And as a London Assembly member, as somebody who uses the buses more or less every single day, I know that how vital the bus drivers are, and it's so sad to hear that 8 bus drivers have now lost their lives due to the coronavirus. 2 more workers on Transport for London as a whole, bringing the total to 10. This is an absolute tragedy. Every single one of these deaths is preventable, and we can do our bit to help prevent further deaths by not using the public transport unless we need to, unless we are key workers as well, and observing all the social distancing, particularly from those drivers. It's like when we go to the supermarket, those people who are working in those supermarkets are coming into contact with people every single day. They are taking so many risks for us, and we have to respect them and do our absolute best not to make those risks worse. So I wanted to say who the drivers are on the buses that we know so far. It's really important to pay tribute to people when they lose their lives. So we know we've lost 5 drivers that have been named so far, and 8 in total. And the 5 that we know about are Laurie Loxon, who worked for Abellio, Paula Hito, who worked for Metro Line, Nadia Nur, who worked for the HCT, which is Hackney Community Transport Group, Kenneth Yaboa, who worked for Tower Transit, and Rodolfo Silva for the Go Ahead Group. We also know of one other driver called Solomon Hagos. We don't yet know the details of where he worked. These people are all heroes, and I'll continue to pay tribute to them during these broadcasts, these little webinars that are also going out on Facebook Live too. So moving on now, I'm going to try and operate this and welcome Claire Sheppard, who's been doing some fantastic work down in Nunhead, building community support. So let's switch to Claire. There she is. Hello, Claire.
Hello.
And where are you today? Where are you at? You're in.
I'm in my equally orange bedroom. So I'm just hiding away in here from my 4-year-old, who would have quite liked to have done the interview with you himself.
Yes, we've been talking as we've been setting this up. It's really nice to see him. So Claire, you've been working more or less from day one of the lockdown, recognising that there was a need for some community support, and doing this in your local area. So yeah, tell us about it and how it came about.
Yeah, well, we've been up and running since before lockdown, actually. Basically, on the 12th of March, I saw Question Time and the former chief medical officer saying that communities needed to get organised. And given we've been in election mode for the last 2 years, there can be few better placed people than us political activists going around getting leaflets out to people. So I immediately knew that I could help on that front. And I also admin a local community group called Nunhead Knocks. So yeah, I put a call out for people to get involved with me there. And by the end of the weekend, one of my lovely neighbours, Charlie, and her partner Tom had built an incredible website, and yeah, so that's been up and running since a week before lockdown. So we really acted quick.
And what does the website do? How does it fill a gap in terms of your local area and the support people could already get? Presumably, when we started the crisis, nobody knew what was going to be needed.
No, well, I the services that we initially offered were kind of informed by the fact that 4 years ago, after my little boy was born, I was diagnosed with cancer. So this time 4 years ago, I was actually in isolation quite a lot myself. So I knew the things that I needed because I was stuck at home to keep my family going, which was dog walking, because I did have a big chocolate Labrador at the time. Making sure that we had food shopping there, and also just people to talk to, because when you're at home by yourself and isolated, you can feel really lonely. So those were the first sort of 3 offers that we asked people to make to support their neighbours. And within, I think, about 10 days, we've got 1,500 volunteers across Nunhead and Peckham who are on standby to get some shopping, get your prescriptions, walk your dog, that kind of thing. You know, good neighbourly stuff, really. And it's called Nunhead Knocks. That's what I should say. And we've built it so other communities can copy our system.
So in terms of the websites, if somebody wants to volunteer, they come along and sign up to volunteer. You know where they live. You maintain sort of the privacy and only link people up when they're needed. Is that you deal with those kinds of issues?
Absolutely. I figured out, well, we've figured out as a group early doors that you don't really want a kind of random person coming along. And my experience, and we're working with mutual aid groups, which are brilliant, but I'm quite a systems driven person. So just the idea of all these requests for helps just pinging off into the ether and no one managing whether they've actually been done, it didn't sit well with me. So we've kind of built a system so we can match people hyper locally. So for example, one lady who asked for help with shopping, when we looked at her request, we had 20 people in her street who had put their hands up and said, I will go shopping for anyone who needs shopping. So it's that kind of hyper local support. And we're trying to get more systems in place for secure payment and for people to be able to pay for food for people who haven't got money for food. So we're working on all things like that, and hot meal delivery, that we can extrapolate out, because I mean, obviously you'll know we're in that key period now where lots of people who have applied for universal credit are waiting to get it. And you know, I went through that whole system 4 years ago, which is how I ended up being a candidate for the Green Party, basically because going through that system I realized it wasn't working very well. So yeah.
I think you're completely right there, that there is this danger period that we're now in where we're 3 weeks into the lockdown. People are starting to feel really the pinch of not having the income that they had before. They're not yet getting the help that they need. And the self-employed are still having to wait until June, which is quite a long time.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah. So plus we've got more and more people going down with infection and needing to self-isolate. So you're seeing that kind of increase in demand. Yeah, certainly I'm a local councillor, and we're just starting to see an uptick in the number of people who are calling or getting onto the WhatsApp groups that we've got set up hyper locally on a particular street by street basis. It's very informal, not like an organised website, but that people have previously got in touch and said I might need help, and now getting in touch and saying I do need help. That's what.
Yeah, we're getting that, and also the request for help where people are just saying, I just don't have any money. I physically don't have any money, and I've got 2 cans in my cupboard. So you know, we're trying to get help for those people as soon as we possibly can, because it is scary. Like you say, I'm self-employed. My husband's self-employed as well. So yeah, we're in a difficult situation ourselves, but I think one of the things that will keep us going through the next few weeks, which are going to be very hard, is by helping each other. I think that's the only way through a situation like this.
Yeah. So you're obviously a very busy person. You've taken on this extra work when you just, possibly least can find the time. How are you handling the pressure? Have you got a team around you that are helping? I know.
Yes, such an incredible team. I mean, genuinely, I would have drowned in this by the first weekend if we hadn't had such a good team. And what's amazing about it is it's really non-partisan. Literally, the first person to speak to me was a Labour Party activist who works in my local community pub, and he was like, "I know you're going to get a system in place. How can we work together?" So that was day one. And by the end of the first weekend, really, we've got a kind of core of about 8 of us. So there's Clive, Charlie, Heather, Andy, Kate, Louise, Paddy, and Amar. Oh God, I hope I haven't forgotten someone. Sorry if I have. But we're all having Zoom chats every day, so we're getting systems in place. But we've got a core of about 50 volunteers who are experts in things, because that's the beauty of London, isn't it? There's a mass concentration of all kinds of talents. So there's people who've run a charity before, there's people who are taking charge of safeguarding, there's there's so many elements. The IT stuff, I would have just been like immediately, but yeah, people have picked that up. And Clive, did I mention Clive? Yeah, Clive getting systems in place. I think he used to work at City Hall. You might even know him. So everybody's safe and their data's safe and private as well, because that's one of the things that I know from having been ill and isolated, is you don't necessarily want the bloke across the road getting your prescription for you. You might want someone from the street round the corner. You don't have to see every day knowing what your medication is.
Oh, very good point. Where can we find it? If we're in Nunhead, which I'm not, I'm in Camden. But if we wanted to get involved, where do we find your website? And if we're from somewhere else and we think your system might be useful to us, tell us about how we can use it in other places.
Yep. Well, the website address is Nunhead Knocks, as in knock knock. Nunheadknocks.com. And if you live in Peckham or Nunhead, so around SE15, we're bleeding out into a little SE22 and around the edges as well, because we want to help everyone. You can just go on there, volunteer to help, to man our phone line. We've got a phone line up and running, so if people aren't online, we can get them that way. Or volunteer for whatever you can do, whether it's just making a phone call, or if you want to take charge of shopping for your street, brilliant. We'll be grateful. Or if you need help, or if you live in a different part of the country but you've got relatives here who do need help, you can go on and say, my mum is in SE15 and I'm worried I haven't got anyone to shop for her, and we will help. And yeah, other areas I know about a week ago we'd already extrapolated the system to at least 6 other areas. So one of the Lib Dem councillors up in the north of Southwark, we've set her up so she's got a system running there. We're really working cross-party on it, and it's a lovely thing after quite a toxic atmosphere politically for a while to see that what good we can do when we all work together. So yeah, so this is Nunhead Knocks wants to give this to anybody else who can use it. So please do get in touch via our website, because we want to help.
And that's a really, really good point about the cross-party working. I mean, we all have to pull together now in the interests of all our communities to work together. We're doing the same in my local ward. We're all supporting the local Meals on Wheels service and helping out. It's very much what London's neighbourhoods are all about, and I think people like you are just fantastic. Thank you so much, Claire. Right, I need to switch you off now, so I'm going to go.
Okay, bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Take care of your neighbours.
So thank you so much to Claire for that, and I really want to start highlighting more stories like that, more things people are doing in their local areas that you can make use of in your local area, which are inspiring and will help cheer us up in these difficult times. So thank you, Claire, and we'll get more guests next week. So the next thing I wanted to do was something else that's quite inspiring. I want to finish with this. What we've been doing is asking young people, children from around London to do some drawings alongside those rainbows of their favourite key workers and send them on to me. So this is a message in a window. This is what we've been asking people to do, and we've seen some absolutely fantastic things been sent in by young people, and I think we're going to show you some of them now. Here we go. So yeah, this is a fantastic picture of an ambulance driver, ambulance on its way to look after people, and this is by I'm just going to look this up. This is from Lucas, who's aged 8. The next picture is very, very cute writing. Thank you, the police, from Eli, aged 6. Fantastic. That's a lot like the drawing I did of a witch when I was a child. Witches are not key workers. However, this is of a nurse, a post deliverer, and a cleaner. Cleaners. I'm so glad cleaners are getting lots of thanks. And you're all superstars. And that was by Tamsin, age 11. And this one completely breaks my heart. This is a supermarket worker by George, age 10. And look at that, look at the realistic empty shelves. I mean, the fact that a child has noticed that the shelves in the supermarket are empty just absolutely breaks my heart completely. But it's a lovely, lovely drawing. Thank you, George, for documenting what you see. And this is Ivan, aged 4, and actually that's very good writing for a 4-year-old. Ivan, that's very, very impressive. He says thank you to the police. And the last one, no, we've got 2 more. This is Oakley, age 8, and these are hospital staff doing a fantastic job with their masks on there. Thank you. And this is the last one. This is for Tesco workers, and there's a mnemonic here about Tesco workers. It says, thank you for providing food, excellent work, super donation food, costing less money, only the best food comes from here. So this person, this is, hang on, who's this? This is Sona, age 8, very grateful to Tesco there. These are all key workers. They should be on absolutely the best pay and conditions at the moment. These are the people who keep our city going. So thank you from me too. Right, I think that's the end of this week's show. I hope this amplification worked all right for you. I really wanted to bring Claire, and I want to bring more people right into my living room. It makes such a difference to me because I'm living on my own here at the moment, to have someone actually here to talk to, and I hope you enjoyed that. And please send in your stories if you want to come on, if you'd like to come into my living room and talk to me about what you're doing. And please, 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 everybody, just take care of yourselves. From me, Sian Berry, stopping in for the foreseeable future. Thank you and goodbye.